The 1986 United States dime is a 10-cent coin issued by the United States Mint. It belongs to the Roosevelt Dime series, which began in 1946 after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The 1986 dime represents American history, craftsmanship, and the nation's economic system during the 1980s. Origins of the dime. The word dime comes from the French word dime, meaning 1/10. The United States adopted the decimal monetary system in 1792 through the Coinage Act. This made the dime one of the country's earliest official coins. Early dimes were made from silver and featured different designs throughout American history. Famous versions include the draped bust dime, capped bust dime, seated Liberty dime, Barber dime, and Mercury dime. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Following President Franklin D. Roosevelt's death in 1945, the United States honored him by placing his portrait on the dime in 1946. Roosevelt was chosen because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his support for the March of Dimes campaign against polio. The portrait on the coin was designed by John R. Sinek, chief engraver of the United States Mint. The 1986 dime. The 1986 Roosevelt dime continued the design first introduced in 1946. Obverse front. Portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The word liberty. The motto, "In God We Trust." The year 1986. Reverse back. A torch representing liberty. An olive branch representing peace. An oak branch representing strength and independence. The words, United States of America. One dime. The motto, E pluribus unum. Composition. Unlike older silver dimes, the 1986 dime is made of outer layer, 75% copper and 25% nickel. Core, pure copper. Overall composition, 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel. Specifications: weight, 2.268 grams. Diameter, 17.91 millimeters. Thickness, 1.35 millimeters. Reeded edge with 118 grooves. Mint locations. The 1986 dime was produced at 3 United States Mint facilities. Philadelphia. No mint mark. Produced for circulation. Denver. Mint mark D. Large production for circulation. San Francisco. Mint mark S. Primarily produced as proof coins for collectors. The United States in 1986. The year 1986 was significant in American history. Important events included the presidency of Ronald Reagan, the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, continued Cold War tensions, growth in technology and personal computers, expansion of financial markets. Everyday coins like the 1986 dime circulated during these historic events. Coin production. The production process included mining copper and nickel, creating metal strips, punching blank coin discs, heating and cleaning blanks, upsetting the edges, striking designs using high-pressure presses, inspecting quality, packaging and distribution through Federal Reserve banks. Millions of Americans use these dimes every day. Symbolism. The dime's design carries important meanings. The torch symbolizes freedom. The olive branch represents peace. The oak branch symbolizes strength. Roosevelt represents leadership, courage, and public service. Collecting. Most circulated 1986 dimes are common and worth face value, unless they are in exceptional condition. Collectors seek mint state examples, proof coins, error coins, high-grade certified specimens, mint errors. Some valuable 1986 dimes contain minting errors such as off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, missing clad layers, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors, These unusual coins can be worth far more than ordinary examples. Preservation. Collectors preserve coins by holding them by the edges, using protective holders, avoiding cleaning, storing them in dry environments, keeping them away from chemicals. Cleaning usually reduces a coin's collector value. Educational value. The 1986 dime teaches lessons about American history, economics, manufacturing, art and engraving, government, national symbols, collecting and preservation. Interesting facts. It has a face value of 10 cents. It is the smallest U.S. coin by diameter currently in circulation. Roosevelt has appeared on the dime since 1946. Modern dimes contain no silver. Billions of Roosevelt dimes have been produced since the series began. Legacy. Although the 1986 dime is an ordinary circulation coin, it reflects more than 2 centuries of American coinage history. It connects modern Americans with the nation's decimal currency system, honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and showcases the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. For collectors, historians, and everyday citizens, the 1986 Roosevelt dime remains an enduring symbol of American heritage. History of the 1986 United States $1 coin. The 1986 United States $1 coin is a 10-cent coin that belongs to the long-running Roosevelt Dime series. Although it is a common circulation coin and does not have the rarity or high value of some older American coins, it represents an important period in the history of the United States Mint, the American economy, and the nation's tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The coin reflects American values, technological progress in coin production, and the continuing importance of everyday currency in commerce. Understanding the history of the 1986 dime requires examining the origins of the Roosevelt dime, the life of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the coin's design, its production, and its significance to collectors. Origins of the Roosevelt dime. Before the Roosevelt dime, the United States 10-cent coin featured the famous Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head dime, designed by sculptor Adolph A. Weinman. The Mercury dime was minted from 1916 to 1945. It became one of the most admired American coins because of its artistic beauty. After the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on April 12, 1945, many Americans wanted to honor his memory. Roosevelt had led the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. He was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, a campaign that raised money to fight polio, a disease from which Roosevelt himself suffered. Because of this connection, it was considered especially appropriate that his portrait appear on the dime. The Roosevelt dime first entered circulation in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime. The design has remained largely unchanged ever since, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, commonly known as FDR, was born on January 30, 1882, in Hyde Park, New York. He became the 32nd President of the United States in 1933 during one of the nation's darkest periods, the Great Depression. Roosevelt introduced the New Deal, a series of government programs designed to create jobs, improve infrastructure, regulate banks, and provide financial security to struggling Americans. His leadership helped restore public confidence during difficult economic times. During World War II, Roosevelt guided the United States and worked closely with Allied leaders. Although he died before the war ended, his leadership was widely respected throughout the world. Roosevelt also inspired millions through his determination after being paralyzed by polio. His support for medical research led to the creation of a National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, better known as the March of Dimes. Design of the 1986 dime. The 1986 dime uses the same basic design introduced in 1946 by chief engraver John R. Sinek. Obverse front. Unlike dimes produced before 1965, the 1986 dime contains no silver. Why silver was removed? From 1796 until 1964, United States dimes contained 90% silver. During the early 1960s, silver prices increased significantly. Americans began saving silver coins because their metal value approached or exceeded their face value. To prevent coin shortages, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, replacing silver dimes with cupronickel clad coins. The 1986 dime continued this clad composition. Where the 1986 dime was minted, 3 United States mint facilities produced the 1986 dime. Philadelphia Mint. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark. Production: approximately 682 million circulation dimes. Denver Mint. Coins produced in Denver bear a small D mint mark. Production: approximately 504 million circulation dimes. San Francisco Mint. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with an S mint mark. Proof coins were specially struck for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared blanks. Proof mintage: approximately 3 million proof dimes. Minting process. Producing a dime involves several steps. First, large coils of copper-nickel-clad metal arrive at the mint. Machines punch circular blanks from the metal strips. The blanks are heated and cleaned before passing through upsetting mills that raise their rims. Powerful coin presses strike the blanks with hardened dies using tremendous pressure. Each finished coin is inspected before being counted and shipped to Federal Reserve banks. From there, banks distribute the coins throughout the United States. Economic background of 1986. The year 1986 was economically important. The United States experienced lower inflation, falling oil prices, continued economic expansion, growing stock markets. President Ronald Reagan was serving his second term. Millions of 1986 dimes entered circulation during everyday business transactions. Purchasing power. Although worth only 10 cents, the dime remained useful for everyday purchases. During 1986, it could help pay for public telephones, vending machines, bus fares, postage combined with other coins, grocery purchases. Today, inflation has greatly reduced its purchasing power. Collecting the 1986 dime. Because so many were produced, most circulated 1986 dimes remain common. Collectors generally seek brilliant uncirculated examples. High-grade coins, proof coins, error coins, certified examples graded MS 67 or higher can command premium prices. Error coins. Some 1986 dimes contain minting errors, making them valuable. Examples include off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors. These mistakes occurred during production and are usually much scarcer than normal coins. Proof coins. Proof dimes are manufactured differently from circulation coins. Features include mirror-like fields, frosted portrait, sharper details, special collector packaging. Many collectors purchase annual proof sets to preserve examples in perfect condition. Importance of the March of Dimes. The dime has a unique connection to public health. Roosevelt's support for fighting polio inspired Americans to donate millions of dimes. These donations funded scientific research that eventually helped produce effective vaccines developed by Dr. Jonas Salk and Dr. Albert Sabin. Because of this history, the dime remains one of America's most meaningful circulating coins. Symbolism. Every design element carries symbolic meaning. The torch represents liberty. The olive branch symbolizes peace. The oak branch stands for strength and independence. Roosevelt's portrait honors leadership, courage, and service. Preservation. Collectors preserve 1986 dimes by storing them in protective holders, avoiding cleaning, keeping them dry, handling them by the edges. Cleaning coins can reduce their collector value. Legacy. Although millions of 1986 dimes were produced and most remain inexpensive, the coin represents an important chapter in American numismatic history. It continues the Roosevelt Dime tradition that began in 1946 and reflects the nation's respect for Franklin D. Roosevelt and his contributions during the Great Depression, World War II, and the fight against polio. Today, the 1986 United States one-dime coin is still found in circulation, more than 4 decades after it was minted. It serves as both a practical piece of everyday currency and a historical artifact that connects modern Americans with the legacy of one of their most influential presidents. For collectors, historians, and students, the 1986 dime demonstrates how even a small 10-cent coin can tell a rich story about a nation's history, economy, culture, and values.